What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Bears Den Trading Podcast. This is MedMan, your host, with Grizzly, your other host. How's it going, brother?
That's going good. Been another good week.
Slightly shorter.
Slightly
week.
shorter. But, in my experience, short weeks typically aren't that good. But this one has been really good. I'm very happy with the results.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So we do have a few trades on the books. Might as well just crash into last week and see how things went. Our bread and butter, sweet baby Walmart came through once again. Tell us about that one first.
Well, Walmart has strength this week. Anytime you can find strength in a week, when the market's pulling a little, which typically happens on short weeks, less volume, less people trading, the market, can dip some. It's to be expected from my experience. But Walmart has strength, which when something has strength like that, especially Walmart, something that really respects that 20 EMA, keep in mind, I want to say this because I see a lot of people trying to trade this strategy on all stocks. I always back test every strategy I use on the stocks that I trade. So I've traded stocks where that 20 EMA bounce doesn't always work out for some reason. But Walmart is one of them stocks that really respects that 20 EMA. And anytime we have strength, I always mark out my 20 EMA on my hourly chart to, in hopes that I can catch one of them nice bounces like we do in Team Bull quite often. And we traded it, we traded Walmart for some nice scalps off the open as well, which worked out really well. And what I like to see when we're setting up for them scalps, I like to have room above it. I don't want the next resistance to be right there at the current resistance. You know what I mean? I like to have enough room for a little scalp move. It don't have to be huge because if you're familiar with options, you don't have to have a huge move to get a decent return. It's not like trading equity. But Walmart's just been hot this week. Hopefully we can have a little continuation into next week. If not, I'll be happy to trade some regular stocks or just focus on the Qs. SPY.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a week in recent memory, at least for me, where Walmart hasn't made us money.
It's been a minute, for real. A common question I get is like, why do you trade Walmart so much? Other than it making me money constantly, at Team Bull, I try to focus on smaller accounts. And Walmart is probably one of the most small account friendly stocks that I know of.
Honestly, the options are cheap, but the delta is solid. You can expect good gains per dollar. And even if it doesn't go up a whole entire dollar, you still get, something. You can go in with quantity and still make a lot of money. It's impressive. I really love it.
Yeah, good spreads, good volume. Honestly, what else could you ask for?
Right? Yeah. And it's for a reason though. Like if you look at the company, they make strides. So one thing that I experienced back in the day with Walmart, right, was in like 07, 08, housing market, all that stuff. Things are expensive. People don't have money. But at the same time, everybody wanted to have like fresher, like organic food was like huge and growing. All natural foods were growing and you couldn't get them anywhere but like the small shop that like was specialty food and stuff like that. And then Walmart suddenly started picking up all these brands, right? And putting them in their store for about the same price as the other brands. And it just changed that whole market in a profound way. And they just do stuff like that over and over again. And I think that's why their stock is so strong, because you can always count on them to make some sort of stride every quarter. At least.
I'm like, Walmart is just a solid company. As far as long term, there's no way I would be bearish on Walmart. I don't see why Walmart, just looking at the company and some of the fundamentals, I don't see why Walmart's not going to continue to grow over time. Of course, as day traders, we see these small dips, small pullbacks, but keep in mind, we are looking at the 5-minute time frame. So you take a step back, look at the bigger picture, they've had a nice climb.
Is Sam's Club kind of like in the same? Aren't they looped in with the Walmart
You know,
stock?
I think so. I'm not. I don't really know all the details on that.
Interesting, because that's something else to be said for it. Like if that's true, then you've got like that's impressive. I mean, but yeah, moving on. Did you have anything else to say about the Walmart in
No,
particular? Okay.
I do have some other trades I would like to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
Um, Baba, for one, I want to
Yeah.
talk about that Baba trade I made. For those of you in Team Bull Discord, a lot of people took the trade with me. You know, Baba had a gap down pre-market, a nice gap down. I said, well, if we get back into that gap after market open, you know, we're gonna have a nice move because there's some room there. Sometimes they will completely fill the gap, but not always. That's why it's very important to, you know, lock in profits on the way up. Anyways, I said, so if we get in Baba, I believe it was like at 98, if I remember. I don't have my levels in front of me. I said, we'll get in this trade at 98. You know, we're going to take that move back up towards the gap fill. Uh, Baba, you know, hit that, kind of bounced around. I said, okay, I'm taking this. We got in, and it had over, I don't know, close to a $2 move up. I want to say $1.50 move. And the contracts were like, if I remember right, they was like $38 a piece. That was like super cheap. No, maybe no, correction, no, 50 something dollars a piece.
Still
But
though, I
that
mean,
trade went almost to 100%. I looked at one point, which I was already out of it, but not hadn't been out long. I had a very good return on that trade, but at one point they was right at $1 at the high of that move. So nearly 100% return trade if you'd held it to that point, you know.
yeah. So if you're holding any more than one, I mean, even if you're holding one, you're like awesome. But if you're holding any more than one, you're like, whoa, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
like suddenly my money is
Yeah. I mean, 100% day trade don't happen, yeah, all the time, you know. Um,
definitely. But when
just
they
think of it
do,
like this: like, imagine just laying down a $50 bill and picking it up a minute, like what was it, like 2 minutes later, and it'd be two
yeah.
$50 bills. You know what I
It's
mean?
like, those people who, those scammers that will like walk into a convenience store and hand them a 20, ask for change, and be like, actually, just give me the 40 and 2 20s. And then they'll walk out with 40 bucks instead. You ever seen somebody like, I saw some guy on TikTok do it. I'm like, you are the worst, bro. But it's like, this is the legitimate way to do that without ripping somebody off.
But keep in mind, this day trading is completely legal.
Yes, we are flipping our money 100% the right way. This is not a scam.
We had some nice trades on QQQ through the week too. One of them,
QQQ is like one of my all-time favorites as well.
you know, 90% of the time when I trade QQQ, it's just basic support and resistance. People underestimate how simple and easy it is to trade the cues just using that. And if you're not familiar with support and resistance, I released a video when you are listening to this podcast. The video will already be released, and it will be in the beginners series on my YouTube. So go check that out. But
Yep, yep.
you know, I don't care if that's the only strategy you use; it works. I mean, honestly, I see people that's all they ever trade, and they do, you know, very well. Um, but let me talk about a couple of trades I took on it. One of them
Mhm.
was a simple reject off of resistance. You know, I read volume, trade worked out well. Um, I got over a 30% return on that trade, close to 50% on the last sale. And I called out a bull flag in the Discord, Team Bull. If you're not in Team Bull, you need to come join us. But I called out a bull flag break, and that bull flag break turned into a huge play. Wasn't your typical break. I mean, yeah, you know, I like a night. You get good moves off good bull flags, but this one went insane. If the people who got in that trade that held, it's probably 75, 100% trade on that as well.
Now, one thing regarding the bull flag, one thing that you often show us in your videos is the trick where you take the staff, the pole of the flag, and you paste it to the end of the flag, and it shows you a very solid like price target.
Yeah, it does. If you got the
Um,
patience to hold out to that, um, yeah, it tends to be pretty accurate. You know, with if volume holds up. I have seen times where volume dies out and it never reached that final price target. But again, that's all in the risk management.
Yeah. So essentially, I mean, you as long as you're focusing on the volume and what level two is doing, you can follow that pull pretty much to your price target, scaling out along the way.
Yeah, sure you can. Yeah, if you got the patience for it, um, I would recommend it. It's a very simple
Definitely.
strategy, but I back test it and it works out. Um, Especially when you have a solid bull flag pattern. You know what I mean? Like when you have some nice consolidation. In my experience, not every bull flag is created equal. If you just consolidate for a second, then go on, you know, chances are you're not going to have that big move. But when you have huge consolidation, like I seen on the cues this week, for those who are listening to this one, check it out. It was on the 5 minute chart that I spotted this. It just had a huge move once it broke. Um,
Now, when you say consolidation, like candle wise, what are you looking for that higher low, higher high, or is it going to be more flat kind of?
I mean, I just like to see what I like to see in a bull flag. I like to see a big move up. Okay, that's what your pole. That's your pole, right?
Mm,
Then if you use the indicator 9 EMA, that's what I use. Um, I like to see once we have that big huge move up, you're extended from that 9 EMA. So I like to see it consolidate all the way back to it. Then I like that sometimes I even get in on that candle that's pushing off of it for that break. But what I'm watching to confirm this, I like to see increase in volume on that candle. That's telling me that, hey, we're about to break out of this flag. If you want to get an early entry, this is where you do it. Or, if you want to be on the safe side, you can wait till you break out of that with good volume. It's just whatever you prefer.
mm.
The way I do it probably isn't textbook, but it's worked out for me just because I know how to manage my risk well.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, as long as you are managing your risk, you can kind of feel out your own method. Um,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because
it's just. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I mean you're right. That's a good way of putting it. Everybody has their own unique style that you develop as a trader. Like I've said it before, probably several times. Beginner traders, if you're listening to this, when once you develop that style, your style may not, I may not even be able to trade like you do. I've seen people that there's no way I could trade their style. I would probably blow my account trying to trade like they do, but they do it and it works for some reason.
Mhm.
And it just interests me. I don't know how that works. I don't know if I would ever be able to understand why that works, but it does. Especially in the penny stock world.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dumpster,
yeah,
the genius.
really is.
I don't know how he does it. And I mean, it's so like you're fast with the options, like scalping and everything, but he's fast with just like that stuff
He
is.
just yeah, he's got a nice strategy he uses. He just mastered it.
Mhm.
That's why I cannot stress how important it is to master one strategy at a time. Uh,
And that first strategy should probably always be risk management. Like as long as you can mitigate risk, whatever. Like, because like what you're doing is you're taking the odds and you're just boop putting them in your favor and letting it ride. You know?
well, yeah, I get what you're saying. But with any strategy you use, your trading plan should tell you your risk
Mm,
management. If you want to be even more in depth, they can have your risk management for each different strategy type that you know how to use,
mm.
like a orb or a support and resistance or momentum, whatever it is, bull flag break. But
And
with that
also
being
between
said,
like
you don't want to overcomplicate it. So
yeah.
find something that works, stick with it, and just document your trades so you can see how you can improve on that. Capitalize how you can make the most out of your trades.
Mm.
Just keep on improving. Uh, Even for, I would say any successful trader would tell you this: a trading plan's, is always a work. It's always a work in progress. Even um, I'm sure Jay Dunn does it, Brandon, whoever. Like I still go back and look at mine. I'm like, hey, what can I improve? from the trades that I have documented.
I've got the OG Grizzlies trading plan template right here from my first. Well, that's not going to show up. From my first one-on-one with you
Oh yeah,
last
that's right.
year.
I forgot about that actually. I need to dig that old template up. It's just
Dude,
like
I
a
have.
base model, yeah.
I'll just send it to you. It's on my wall right here all the
Yeah,
time.
I used to post that in the Discord often. Just like a base model, kind of add your own questions to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also have the journal entry is right here above it as well.
Do we have any earnings to look forward to next week? I know earnings season is among us. So
Yeah,
does Google have earnings? Let me see. I was
let me
looking at
see.
something. Google has earnings on 426.
426. So quick thing about Google, because it doesn't show up a lot in the Discord, right? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, it's just it's a more expensive stock to trade.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
Google. It's I mean, day traders do trade this, but I feel like it's more long term. You know what I mean? Like for
mhm.
investors and stuff. Actually, I've got a kind of like a buy zone I've got marked out because I want to buy some before the stock split.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna bring that up actually.
Maybe it's in July, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% on that, so be sure you check that out before you.
Mm.
I would
Oh,
preferably like to add some around. Maybe we've got a nice pullback. We're at 2,534 right now. We got a key support around 2,400, 2,490 is a support area. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to add right there or wait till we fail that. And if we fail that, we could see that 2,400 area. I know it's not a whole lot of difference, but I mean, as far as day trades go, that could possibly work out for a day trade because that's a big support area on that 2,490. Now that I'm looking at it,
well, that's my thought on it is like when they do split in July, and I've heard it's not just going to be like a split down the middle in half or anything.
yeah, Google has a 20-1 stock split coming up. We confirmed it. I'm going to be watching Google to add to some long term. Especially, I want to grab some before this stock split. Personally, this is not telling anyone what to do. This is what I'm going to do personally. Some buy areas I'm looking at 2,400. If we can get down there, 2,455 doesn't look horrible. But anything below 2,400, I feel like is a good deal because we do have a 20-1 split coming up. What that means, for every one share of Google, when they split, you will get 20 shares. I don't know. I haven't done the exact math. What's that, like 100, 200 something dollars per share once it splits? But, what could happen, this is not guaranteed. It could go the other way.
Mm.
What could happen, if you have them shares, then you get in, you say you got 20 shares for 250, people buy in, they push the price back up to $1,000, you've got 30 shares for $1,000 a piece now, but, it could go the other way, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something once I get in, I have this split coming up. I get a good buy-in on Google right now. I could sell covered calls on my shares. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. I knew that's where you were going.
and once Google reaches a price I want to sell at, after I've already made money selling covered calls, yeah, then I'll sell for a profit. It's just a win-win. But this is not risk-free. It could go the other way. But I've never been afraid to take a risk, so it's nothing new.
As long as you manage it. What do you think about next week then?
Let me pull up the SPX. I like to look at it. Gotta be honest, we had that nice pullback this week, but as far just looking at the daily chart, let me switch to weekly really quick.
Gotcha.
I mean, it looks like we got a nice bull flag forming. I could be wrong, it's kind of steep, but I mean, it, it looks like a good bull flag. And we are in a nice support area. Um, this could go either way, honestly. I don't like I don't really care as a day trader where it goes. Um, and as a long term investor, it just gives me more opportunity to invest at a lower price. So, but
Hmm.
I see different things. I don't want to say this because so many people are like, "Oh, that's not a pattern. This is not that pattern." But I see a possible inverse head and shoulders forming on the daily. I see a possible bull flag forming on the daily. I see a nice support area on the daily. I'm just going to leave it at that. People can do with that what they wish.
Yeah, and I mean, off of that, you can go and you can look and see if you see that, make your own analysis, add it to your trading plan, and see how it works out. The thing is, like, a lot of people in Team Bull will tell you that money is a position. So that means a few things. Like, money is a position because it's money in your pocket still, right? Obviously, but also you can still sit there and watch the market and study and follow along with Grizzly or whoever you want to follow along with in the Discord or whatever. Um, yeah, I'm actually looking at. I think I found some actually decent earnings for next week. We do have kind of a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure earnings season is about to start.
It is upon us. Next week is going to be a banger. I see quite a few Team Bowl staples here. A lot of financial institutions. On Monday, we've got some Bank of America. We got Charles Schwab, Synchrony Financial. Tuesday, we've got Johnson and Johnson, and we've got Netflix as well. Wow, see what I mean? So many.
Yeah, some big ones.
Lockheed Martin has popped up here and there. Not quite as popular as Boeing, but actually, there's Hasbro is on this list, which Hasbro is one I think to keep an eye on when it's on an earnings list like this, because they're no joke. Like, they make the toys for almost everything out there. Wednesday, Tesla. That's amazing. United Airlines is on the list. Procter and Gamble. Got AT&T on Thursday. Alaska Air Group on Thursday.
I just want to remind everyone, I never recommend trading earnings because chances are you're going to lose.
Yes.
99% of the time, you'll probably lose your money. It's just like playing the lottery. You just don't know. And the IV on contracts are so high, implied volatility, what IV means, but it's so high. If you buy in it, and even if it does have a nice move up, chances are you're going to get the IV crush and it's going to kill your premium. So just keep that in mind.
Definitely a riskier time to be trading certain names, but it can work out. But definitely be extremely careful and only ever use profits on these things for sure. And rounding it out, on Friday we've got there's Verizon, Regions Financial. That's my bank. American Express might be something interesting to look at. And then, just because I love saying it, Schlumberger. Schlumberger.
But yeah, I mean, solid week of earnings for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty action packed.
It's going to bring some movement to the market. Earnings season tends to be fun, not because we're just trading earnings, but I don't know. It seems like it brings volume. Like it definitely brings out the degenerates. Everybody ready to put it all on a earnings lotto.
Opportunistic. Pack of Wolves. Just kidding. Wolf of Wall Street. I love that movie. That's how not to be a trader. What'd you say?
It is a good movie. But yeah, I mean, I believe we got a pretty solid episode. What do you think?
I would agree. I would agree. Fifth Third Bank Corp. Fulton. I thought that said futon for a sec. I was like, futon. I'll invest in futons. Yeah. So I actually like that website I just found on there. It was Kiplinger. It was very just like straightforward. These are the days, these are the earnings. Yeah. What do you think?
Good.
Good. Good. Bro, I'm excited. I'm excited.
You want to read the disclaimers or you want to conclude?
Yeah. All right. So that wraps up the earnings last week in review and some insight into next week. Remember, please, that this podcast is not financial advice, but intended for educational purposes only. So please take notes, study. Every hour that you spend looking at the market, you should at least spend 3 more hours studying notes, other people's notes, texts, books, whatever you can get your hands on. YouTube, Grizzly's YouTube channel, Team Bowl members' YouTube channels, www.grizzlytrades.com. You can join everything from Team Bowl to mentorships to, Finamize is on there, I think, as well.
And that reminds me, the main mentorship is going. So I have a post on my Instagram. If you're, want to read more about it, it has all the details. Reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Yeah, you can sign up through my link in bio, grizzlytrades.com. Just want to throw that in there.
Heck yeah. And also remember, if you're incredibly busy, like I happen to be sometimes, and you miss a class, that class is actually recorded and will be there forever. So you'll certainly not miss out on the class, and it'll always be there for you to go back. And I mean, I still look at Brandon's September class from last year here and there. Currently I'm in March mentorship, right? And I've been watching the recordings because I've missed 1 or 2 classes here and there. But yeah, man, just invaluable, like incredibly worth the money. One bad trade. That's it.
That's it. One bad trade.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I think that wraps it up for us. All right. So we'll catch you guys next Sunday at noon, same time, same place. Also, right after this, don't forget, Grizzly will be doing the live weekly watch list, preparing for you to crush the week ahead. We've got a lot of earnings, so you want to be there for that one. It's going to be very, very important this week. So yeah, y'all have a good one. Grizzly, take it easy, brother.
Dude.